Intellectually engaging to think outside the lines with conversation about the nation that never leaves you blind. Take a listen and pay attention. Here is where you find the educational, sensational meeting of the minds. Yeah, it's the meeting of the minds. Meeting of the minds.
Thank you for watching Meeting of the Minds. I am Selah V, and I have today's co-moderator with me, Karan Spearman.
How you all doing?
Karan Spearman is a writer for The Chronicle and many other venues of articles and writing places and
many things.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Things.
Many things. And also does a podcast called Nah. So, I love showcasing beautiful, amazing people in Austin. It's what the show is about, is bringing different minds with different belief systems, with different walks of life together to discuss stuff. And I love giving people a platform like activists and artists. And usually it's a lot of musicians that come through. But one thing that was really, really on my heart to showcase and have a discussion surrounding is the beautiful artists, meaning visual artists. And some of us also dabble in music, of course. We'll talk more about that. And it was really important to me. I said, let's get together and let's just talk about artist stuff. Lamont, I love art so much.
Right.
I had a phase where it was therapy for me. I would post like pictures that I was feeling, and it was almost very, very therapeutic. My father does the same thing, which is weird. He collects photos, like art. I don't know why. If you go through our internet, our pictures, it's like, why are you collecting all these pictures? It just feels good in my soul.
The picture says it doesn't work.
I was going to say, it feels good when you look at it.
So I'm going to go around real quick and introduce everyone, and then we are going to get started. So firstly, I have Rhea Brown here with us today. How are you?
Good.
Thank you for being here with us.
Thank you.
Lamont Huff.
How you guys doing? Greetings.
Drove several hours from Houston to be here.
I did it early this morning.
So
it was well worth it, though.
I'm so glad that you made it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad. And also, Lauren J. Reed, how are you?
Hey, good.
So I picked all of you very, very specifically, not only because I think your art is freaking incredible, but also because I feel like you kind of exemplify or are, how can I explain it? A lot of you showcase art that is for people of color, right? We have Lauren, you do Native American art. I've noticed you do different kinds of art, but nevertheless, there are some that are very, very profound when it comes to people of color. I've noticed that, and I just love it very much. And Lamont as well. Right. And I noticed that y'all do a lot of art centered. Is that true about you as well? I know you cover everybody, but are you specific to wanting to showcase people of color, or?
No, I think my goal is to erase the lines of color.
Okay, explain.
Being multiracial myself, I don't necessarily relate to one specific group more than another. So I think I try to erase those lines.
That's really good. That's really good. And how do you try to do that through your art?
By not necessarily, promoting one race or the other, but more or less promoting the emotional concept of the art. What I'm feeling, it's kind of abstract. So, and I usually paint women, but they're usually fused with something supernatural, so that's not the focus. The focus isn't what they look like or what their race is. I'm actually, a lot of people ask why I'm not more Afrocentric, I would say.
Wonderful.
But I think, it might go back to being young. I was adopted, and I used to dream, okay, what does my mother look like? And I used to draw what I thought she looked like. And so all of my women that I draw kind of are similar to that. Unless I have models, then, it kind of looks more like them. But from my own head, I think it is centered more around my mother, who all I knew about her at the time was that she was a Sicilian and Mexican.
That's what you would think that she was, or you found out
that's what she
was?
Wow.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
How close was she to what you thought that she looked like in your head?
Well, I pictured her having long curly hair, and she doesn't. She has short, straight hair, and but still, nonetheless, beautiful.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, I love this stuff. When it's the insight to psychological stuff, I'm like, oh, this is so exciting.
Awesome.
Yeah, that's hard.
Lauren, you do very specifically show culture, specifically Native American art. Why do you go that route?
I'm also mixed, and growing up in Oklahoma, a lot of us are mixed with Native, and my grandparents were, Native, and so I got some of that built in. They would come at school and kind of take me out and try to talk to me about culture. But in middle school, you're not like, oh, let's hang out at lunch, and the guy was kind of scary. And but the older I got, the more important I realized it was to kind of make everybody aware of the American history and to kind of research those parts of me that now are kind of mixed up, and so I do what they consider contemporary Native art, which is kind of a new thing. It takes the important things of the past and what we're like now and kind of meshes it up. But I'm not exclusive to that. I make anything, but I am drawn to doing cultural pieces, and I do a lot of hip hop stuff too, and just drawn to people of color in general. And I can make anything, but I am Choctaw Cherokee, so I like to be down with that.
Yeah. And so while y'all are talking, some of your art has been showing while y'all are saying some of the things that y'all are saying, so that people are having the opportunity to see what it is what you mean when you say I draw women, and you say I like to blend that history with what we got going on today. So they're getting to see that visually while you all are talking. Lamont, you do a lot of, I feel like it's very modern work. Would you agree, or would you?
For the time being, yeah. I would say it's modern. It has a few things to do with culture, I say for like black culture, sometimes even the fantasy idea of what, it could be to be, African American, within, the world that we live in right now. I guess it's just that, just my insight on what I feel and what I experience throughout the day, or just, what I've had experienced, or what I'm going to experience in the future. So it's more of that. But like I said, just from my viewpoint of things, Definitely, I guess, don't want to seem as if I am being, just onto one subject. Like I say, that's all I really know right now, within life, though, having other experiences, with other cultures and things like that. But I guess the thing that really draws me into drawing, what I draw is not seeing it throughout, the world of art, almost like trying to fill in the blank pieces.
Wanting to see that thing.
I want to see, I want to, because I'm able to see it from a different point of view, but it's almost like, okay, well, this voice hasn't been heard yet, or this eye hasn't been seen, so it's more of that,
Interesting. So y'all are playing, like, you're telling us a little bit about, like, I wanted to draw, what I thought my mom looked like, and you're saying that I want to see things in the art. But delve a little bit deeper and tell me about how, I want to know how did you start drawing? Like, how did it come about?
Why? That's what I'm interested in. Why you draw? That's a question I ask everyone.
Yeah, honestly.
Natural.
Gosh, yeah. I remember being young enough to where I'm drawing on the floor. Like feet up and, with a crayon type deal. Actually, I started because I wanted to get, like say what I was feeling out, so it was more of like the reflection of my emotions, If I'm happy, okay, I'm gonna draw something happy. I'm sad, I'm drawing something sad, angry, all the way down. And then, like I said, it was just always just been like a hobby, like my ability to just release whatever I was just going through.
Like an outlet.
It's liberation. It's definitely liberation. I notice if I'm not drawing now, I'm depressed.
Yeah.
Like,
something's wrong, and that's why you're not working.
It's I'm just in a corner,
Wow.
balled up if I'm not drawing.
That's powerful.
And I think that's part of the struggle of being an artist. Is just having to be able to express that. Like, this is just how I feel right now. I gotta get it out.
Yeah, you have to leave that part of yourself open all the time too, which is tiring.
And it's tiring, and it's also
protect.
It's so sensitive.
Yeah.
Because it's open. So if anyone's able to get into that area, it's almost like, oh man, he might have tainted it, you know. So
That's true.
but yeah,
Is what they're saying ring true for you?
I think so. I think for me it's evolved. I think I discovered over time who I was and accepted that truth. But I think as a kid, like they said, it's natural. You just naturally do it.
Was it natural for everyone else? Was
Pretty
it
much,
natural? Okay.
When I would, sit and take notes in class, most of my page was doodles.
Is that true for everyone?
Absolutely.
Oh,
This is
man.
fascinating.
People would ask me in elementary, middle school to draw pictures of people like Tony Braxton, Snoop Dogg. And
Were you all daydreamers?
yes,
Yeah.
I
Okay.
daydream
Very
a lot.
internal.
I'm daydreaming now.
I do.
Yeah.
I don't think
Definitely.
I remember a lot, and it's because of that. Like I daydream a lot, so my memory is not great.
Wow.
It's fascinating because
Exactly.
I know,
Right,
like, as a
Cecilia.
poet in elementary school, I remember it was innate to write. It was just innate. Like, I can go find like one of the first poems I wrote in elementary school, and it goes hard.
Yeah.
Like, still to this day, it goes hard. And I think that's fascinating that, like, you just had a niche for it already.
It's almost like
Wow.
you
I
were-
did it
you-
all day, yeah.
It's almost like you already been called to be that.
It's
Come
so
out already who you
strange.
are.
And so you just have, like,
I
you have to
get
accept it.
goosebumps.
Yeah.
And I
Yeah.
did
You have
that,
to
and
accept it.
I also did writing. I'd write stories and poems, and I would build like little houses for my dog, and just could do that all day.
Artistic
Just
to
artistic,
the
yeah.
max.
And then I think not until I was older did I realize, like they said, like it becomes your outlet. Like if I don't do it, then all the emotions, if there's pain or love or whatever it is, it just gets caught inside. And it's like a release.
Yeah. Sounds like you're constipated if you're not doing it.
Wow,
Totally.
that's
Like,
so
seriously.
interesting.
You know,
And
it's like, I
sometimes
gotta get
the
this
only
out.
way to
Yeah.
deal with things.
Yeah. Exactly.
Wow.
Yeah.
Escape to that part of your brain,
Yeah.
Mhm.
that part.
And such an intimate side too, almost to the point to where it's like, just the whole idea of intimacy. Like being alone with this paper, this canvas type deal, to where anything can interfere. I think about this is actual something that happened to me when I was in Dallas with me and a girl I was dating. I didn't see her in a while. As far as like she was in school, I was working type deal, so we just crossed paths. And one night we was going to have a movie night, So I told all my buddies, I told my neighbors, hey, don't come knocking on my door, like.
It's going down.
Well, we just watch a movie, but it was just
Netflix and
that
chill.
setting,
Yeah, okay.
lights off, we watch the movie, have the wine, the popcorn, that type of thing.
Nice.
We're sitting like probably 30 minutes into the movie, someone knocks on my door. And so it's that type of thing, okay, now I have to get up from
Messing me up.
this, And so a lot of times I look at art that same way to where it's like, sometimes I turn off my phone.
Yeah.
I want to answer the phone and, I'm having all kind of voicemails. Like, oh, man, you all right? I'm working,
Leave me alone.
leave me alone. I'm making love to this paper right now,
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's just
There's
that.
nothing else. I get like that with the research. I fall into research wormholes.
Oh yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
and then people will call, and I try to answer the phone, but while they're talking, I go back to researching,
Yeah.
and I'm like still like, and they're like, "Do you hear me, Selah?" And I'm like, "Huh?" Right? A research wormhole. So for you all, that's a wormhole that you.
I'll change my schedule to stay up at night so that no one will bother me.
Yeah.
Because as soon as you get into that zone, your phone starts blowing up because that's just how it works. You'll be dry, your phone's dry all day, and then when you get that idea and you get that motion, then that energy starts coming at you, and you got to shut it out, close it out. And now people in my life finally understand, but I'll spend like 85% alone time. I work at my apartment by myself. I have to protect all of that to keep on the thing, because we're like a reflection of the times. So you got to see it and observe it and put it down before it goes away.
All right.
You ever feel like it's a rushed process to get it down on the canvas, or is it very slow? Let's take it slow, or can it be both? So what do
I
you?
like it right now.
Yeah,
Already
I
done.
can't believe we're talking about it like this,
Learn
but
that's how I work. Like if I feel it now, I have to do it now, because in a few days or a couple of months, it's gonna be gone.
It'll be gone. Yeah.
And then I'm gonna be on to the next idea.
And you won't care
I've
about
lost
it.
that
Yeah.
concept.
I would say it's a mix of both for me. Just for the simple fact that I think, because like ideas will come, I have like sketchbooks, just
Yeah.
all writings. It's no drawings, anything. And then, say like a year from now, like that one idea that I thought about like a year ago presents itself. You know, I'm actually doing something to where, like say just that, I thought of an idea a long time ago. I'm just like, oh, okay, wrote it down. And then like I say, that idea was able to present itself. But I understand what the ladies are saying when it comes to like getting it out. Because sometimes you look at it like, that's old. It could just be from a week ago, you know.
Yeah.
But it's almost like it bores you now. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
Like,
that.
Like Tawny, I think, what's her last?
Yeah.
Lewis? Is it Lewis? God, please forgive me if it's not. But she's one of my favorite local artists. That's just,
Yeah.
I'm having a brain.
She's a good painter.
Is it Lewis? Is it? Well, Tawny. Okay,
Tawny
she's
for sure.
amazing. But she'll take months or a really long period to do a painting, and it's so worth the wait. But nevertheless, she takes a long time. So I guess what I'm trying to ask is like, do you take it real slow? No, it has to be like let's get it on and crack it. So that's the other slow
Because
strokes.
you're trying to get that feeling out.
Fast strokes, slow strokes, long strokes. Yeah, fast strokes. This is so
Definitely.
interesting.
Definitely like
wow.
4 hours.
You'll find
Yeah,
it.
Wow.
anything
Do you-
more than 5 is
Too
a
much.
stretch.
Really?
It's long.
But
See,
you know
that's
what?
what I'm
Some
saying, like,
people work forever on
Fascinating.
one
Right,
piece
yeah.
and they get that money. You know what I'm
That's- yeah.
saying?
I was
You,
just- yeah.
you want to be the best, but like, I come from like a music and dance and like acting type background as well. So it's like I'm used to physically getting it out. You know what I mean? So I don't care about perfection. I just want it done already. Like,
Yeah.
just feel me. Y'all fill it in with your eyes. Like this is, you can read that. It's
Yeah.
good. Let's go.
I guess like I said, it all depends on like that, you know, like say your personality, your style, you know.
How perfect do you want it?
It's really comparative to lovemaking, really. You went there, but now that I'm thinking it, did I go there? It was
You
probably, it was me. It was me. Of course it was me.
Jet Sailor, I took it.
But it is that way, and I know it's that way only
just
because
that, yeah.
I stroke the pen. You know what I mean? So I know it is that way. There's sometimes I'm getting so nasty with the pen. I can't. This is a late night show, right? Sometimes I'm getting so nasty with the pen that like it won't even stay in the line. Y'all know about that. Like it's just like wherever this sentence is like, and now I don't even have time to go get another piece of paper. So now we're writing in the corners and it's going around. So or a napkin.
Yeah,
it can
absolutely.
get vicious. So yeah, I can understand.
I
the
envy
struggle
you
with
all.
it.
I envy you all, and yet I like that everything I do has a deadline. Because if I was left to my own devices, I'd be in big trouble. Like everything I do has to be boom. You need to turn it in this time. Da 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 da.
Well, we kind of have that, right?
I don't have
We got
time.
that.
It's a very hard print day. This is where it has to turn in on this time and this and that. But at the same time, I look at the piece that I've written. Man, I wish I could have taken a little more time.
But if you don't turn it in, you don't get paid. You know, and it's the same thing for us.
That's
Like
real.
if it's not done,
That's real.
we don't get paid for it. You know.
I've had a few commissions
Shoot,
be
I
like,
guess
hey,
I'm
can
about
I
to
get
go
my
into
deposit
pay.
back? And I'm like,
Oh, ouch.
I'm almost done. Like, you know,
Ouch.
Now you got to get going.
Thankfully, my
do it,
people
yeah.
are real patient. I've owed 2 commissions right now, and please forgive me, for like a year. Okay, and you know what? But they're understanding, and they're like, I know you're just waiting for the like something will hit, and then that's why it took that long. Like it came to me.
They'd rather that.
No, they
Yeah, they'd
understand.
rather- yeah.
And they're a fan of my work or whatever, you know, and I've had people who try to rush me and I just get it done for them, you know, and I
Right.
try the best I can, but if it's not really flowing out like it's supposed to be, I'm just doing my work, you know. And I'm trained to do my work, but it's work at that point.
Right.
Before we go into paid, in a minute after this one topic turn, we're going to take a quick little turn, bring us back into paid. Somehow
Okay.
you can do it. I don't know how, but
We'll do.
steer us. 'Cause
We'll
we
do.
will
Guys,
go
I
here.
have questions.
We will so go this way, for too long. But so, would you consider your work abstract, and if so, how much so?
I would say a mix.
Yeah.
Yeah. So is the particular piece mix, or sometimes it's very literal, and sometimes it's literal and abstract mix in the piece, or
Yeah.
Or does it depend on your emotion, that day? Again, you work with kind of an immediacy.
I mean, I've played with just abstract, just like throwing paint on a canvas. And that's fun sometimes. But if you're talking about like seriously what's inside and getting it out and, having my own expression, I like the realism. I like it to look like a person, but then I like to not be so technical, like like you guys said, like, you know, you might go back and look at it and say, oh, I could have done this better. I could have done that. You're always going to say that.
Yeah, always.
And so I don't want to get into that. Like, I could have, oh, that should be this way. No, it's the way that I put it, and that's perfect. That's fine.
It's not contrived that way, you know. It's more of the moment.
Yeah.
It's very difficult for me, like, to proofread a piece and revise it. You know, like somebody will come and be like, okay, I'm gonna critique it. You should revise this. Like, I'm like, no, it came out that way. Like, how do you ever want me to revise it? So how do you guys handle what critique? Like when critique comes through? Okay, Lauren, how do you handle critique?
Not very well. Okay, I'm like, either you like my work or you don't. And I'm like, okay, well, let me explain to you. Like, I had this one
What would
piece.
they not like about it?
Okay, one time I did a piece and it was a portrait of an older lady, and I was actually sending it to Lebanon. Okay, this is one of my international ones. I was like, oh, buddy, you know. And so it was a watercolor piece, and you know, it's a little bit abstracted, but it definitely looked just like her, you know. But it's artsy, so there's some splatter bits and things. Well, just so happened the water came and made this thing look like a tear. Well, damn it, I loved it. You know, there was some motion there. It went with the rest of the piece. It really made it cohesive. And the lady was all upset. It was a gift, you know, and why did you do that? Why is she sad?
Her for it?
No, her son had bought it for her.
Okay.
Why did I make it? Because they got two of them, and one of them was all perfect looking, and then there was this one that was more artistic and
because
had
I'm
more
an artist
feeling.
and I see what you don't see. That's
Well,
why.
basically, and I explained, and they were really nice about it, and they love it now more than ever. But, and this has happened several times, I have to explain to them why I made certain choices and why that goes there.
And if
then they realize
the tear
it.
lands there, how could you change that, right?
Yeah, and another time I
Does
was like,
accidents happen that you're like, yes?
yeah, because you can always fix it. You can always take it away. You can put more paint, you can put some water and erase it. But like, I liked it there, you know? And that's happened several times. And one time a lady wanted me to change something. And I told her, I was like, no, I'm doing a little Rocco thing with the glaze there. Just don't mess with it. You know what I mean? If it glared in your place you want to sit down, like, move your chair. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got this. You know? Like, you don't understand me.
I'm Diana Ross from The Supremes. Move your chair.
Move your chair.
That's something I do want to touch on, though. When you first kind of showcased your work for people, and with that initial, that first, so she already had, you know, so when you, this is me as an artist, I kind of explain how that kind of, when you first kind of put yourself out there as an artist for people.
I think my first time was I was actually in art school in Tampa, and so we have an assignment we have to do, and you know, so you work on your assignment, but then once you're finished, you have to present it to the class, and so I guess during that time, like my mind frame was semi-militant, you know.
Oh boy!
So a lot of the things I did resembled that, you know. And I mean, not to step on toes, but it's just like I say, I mean, I'm an artist, and this is what I'm doing, you know. I'm sensitive about my shit, you know what I'm saying? So,
That's right.
but it'll be this type of thing to where, I guess from the viewer, you know, is because I'm showing, like I say, once again, I'm showing you something that you don't see on a daily. You know, not to say that you won't have your own opinions on it, but you know, sometimes your opinions don't matter. You know, but I think that was like the first time I really ever presented like in front, you know, of a crowd, or you know, like have someone sit there and critique it.
Those are rough too. Those people are mean.
Because and it's almost like mean to, like on purpose.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're
You know,
haters.
it's almost as if it
Insecurity
was
showing.
Yeah, it's almost as if like, well, you
They're
know,
trolling you.
yeah, and it's like, I mean, like I say, once again, your opinion don't matter because you're not grading my paper, you know, so it really doesn't matter
But
at
there's
all.
a skill to that whole crit
Oh,
thing,
my
and it got
God. Yeah.
easier.
Oh, it got
It
to the
hurt
point
less.
to where, like, I don't, like, now, I can get
Yeah.
a flying flip. you know?
Totally.
Like, seriously. I actually had, like, 2 jobs as well, too, where I did art for, like, major companies. And so it'd be that type of thing. I had to do, like, a chalkboard or multiple chalkboards. I know they're going to be up, and, like, I don't care, you know. Like, whatever you set me to do is what I'm going to do, and I don't care if a customer comes in, like, I don't like that. Like, you'll be out the door soon, you know, so it doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Right.
Because I guess it toughens you, though, the critiques. They definitely toughen you, you know, because, like I say, everyone's not to agree with what you do or who
It's
you
not
are.
Or understand you.
But, you know, as long as you're able to express that, then you're good. Man.
It's so hard for somebody to like criticize like something that just just flows so naturally out of you. You know, it's like, what is there to criticize? Or sometimes they don't even paint or write, and they're like, "Well, you come do it."
That happens a lot. That happens a lot. An inexperienced viewer will get very judgy.
Right.
I get a lot of trolling, like daily.
Well, there's a reason why I think you get more trolling, and so I guess we'll segue into the getting paid thing, right?
Absolutely.
So yeah. So I want to talk about how it is that you get customers. How do you get money for your art, right? Man. I know, Lauren, you have a very, very nice body. You work really, really hard on your body.
Don't be looking today.
Yeah, no, she's are you a gym rat, or do you?
I have my bouts of gym ratting.
Well, her body shows that she's into fitness, right? But she uses her body, and when I say sexuality, I mean using her fitness body to sell her art. And so do you think that, I think you get trolled more because of that. That's a bigger reason
and
why
what's so funny, it's never women. It's never women.
Really?
Oh, it's never women. Because here's the thing, the reverse of the roles has occurred here. So now men are little bitch asses, and they're the haters, and they're the gossipers, little babies, and the women are all savage now. You know what I'm saying? And women understand what it takes to not be fat and to put on makeup and straighten your hair and get in front of a camera. That shit ain't easy. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that, hey, guess what? I'm not ashamed of myself. This is what I came out looking like, and it wasn't easy. I looked like a mess in the morning, and now I clean myself up to this.
Did you find that it works for you better when you do sexy, like
absolutely?
She'll put on some cutoff
90-something% more. I sell. Okay, they say now art sells 90% online. Okay, I have been full-time artist online for 5 years now. I don't work for a man. I've never worked for a man. I've always worked for myself, and I will do whatever I want. I don't care what this total stranger on the internet has to say, but I do know marketing statistics, if I'm getting 90%
She'll have like a picture
more
of Jimi Hendrix, and she's flexing her calves, you know what I mean? and so she got on some cute little dress or skirt, and she's flexing the calf, But it gets at
least 90% more. I need new customers.
Sex sales, though. Yeah, sex.
It goes down.
Don't you wish you could put on a crop top?
You can.
Talk to me.
I haven't worked out in a good little minute.
It doesn't even matter. You don't even have to be like that. You could be you. You just put yourself out there. Here's me in the work, because they're buying a piece of that artist. They're not buying that piece. They're buying the years and years behind it. You touched it. You put your love into that. You know what I mean? It's just tying those things together. And the pictures are more than just me being slutty with the pictures. It's like there's an art to that too. There's an art to that. So it's layers of art. It's for an experienced art viewer.
One time I stared at her picture so long that I accidentally shared it somehow. Have you ever clicked on something you didn't mean to?
You should share.
And I was like, well, hey, I shared it. I said, do you remember? I was like,
I don't know.
I was
People
like,
share my pictures. I love it.
I was like, hey, let's roll with it. I mean, she's a beast, right?
I guess that's a good way to sell your art, though.
You're selling yourself.
It's really working.
You're selling yourself, So like you say, with the actual art itself is a reflection of you. So what better way to do it is by also present yourself with it.
I mean, it's not a new tactic.
No,
guys.
not at all.
Oh, no. Like you said, that's marketing 101.
But I'm not a stripper, and I've never been a stripper. You know what I mean? I got mad skills, and people want to come at me ugly because of it, and they say the most horrible things about me and my art. Every single day, I have to block at least 5 people trolling on me.
What do they say?
5 people a day.
At least. This is ugly. This is one I remember from this week. This is ugly. Ain't nobody care about your work. This was like an really older lady. Yeah. The only haters I get will be mostly men, and you can tell, and this is nothing new too.
Maybe they're just trying to get your attention, the kid on the playground that picks on a girl that he likes.
It's weak men are intimidated by strong women, and they want to make sure that they keep down, and that's the oppressor. They don't want to see somebody doing an independent thing. They want to dominate you. They can't do what I do. They're jealous.
Yeah. So how does everybody else try to market? What are some of the things that you do to try to get customers or paid? What are some ways? Yeah.
I mean, I agree with what they're saying. You're selling yourself. And my daughter and I were having a conversation about that. She was like, who would buy a picture of a dot? She's talking about those simplistic pictures. And I'm like, you're not really buying the dot, but the person that made it. Like if they can make up some great story about why the dot is on the painting, you're buying that story.
Freaking fascinating.
And when I started out, I had a really low self-esteem, and I didn't think very highly of myself or my artwork, and so I didn't sell much, you know. And so I had to learn, you know, I'm okay the way that I am, and who I am is what's going to sell it. And so I have to express that. Who am I? Where am I coming from? And people think that's really interesting, you know, even though we think that this is the way that I am, you know, I do this every day, but people are like, oh my gosh, it's so amazing. How do you live? And, you know, how do you live? What do you do every day? And how do you paint? And people are very astonished by your life.
And they're very,
They think it's magic.
Yeah.
You know, that whole, like, I always get mad when they're like, oh, you're so lucky or talented. I'm like, bitch, I work every single day my entire life. I don't have a social life. I don't sleep more than 4 hours a night. Like, you could have it too.
I tell people that all the time. Like, I wish I can be an artist. I'm like,
you can.
No, you really don't. Like,
I know. Sometimes I'm like, I'm gonna quit. This is bad for me.
I actually quit. Like, I want to say like 2 years.
I've done it too.
And I don't want to draw. I don't want to paint. I don't want to do anything. You know.
Why? What was the reason?
You know, actually, like looking back, I don't even know.
Is it because you were like, I'm not gonna be able to withstand myself?
Because the thing was, like, I wasn't really trying to sell art at the time, you know. But it was just like I didn't draw, I didn't do anything, you know. And then got called back into doing it. But it's a lifestyle to where, like you say, I don't think a lot of people really understand and get it.
They don't.
You know, like she said, I mean, certain days like
might not be good for you.
Like, I mean, I'm up 10 hours, 12 hours. One thing I had was coffee and
like, oh, I didn't eat today.
And then I'm like, you know. But it's that type of drive that's in us to where it's like, I have to do this. You know, it's like no other reason for living unless this is completed.
I mean, that's real. That's real. I mean, really, honestly, it wasn't probably up until like a year ago. Was this even profitable? Me writing full time was even like reasonable. Like I was just barely, you're just barely making it. You're just like, how am I gonna get this paid? Da da da. And then like, you know, I've been writing for a good part of my life, even beyond other careers and things. But it takes a certain kind, to be an artist of whatever. Like, is it? Because it is so. Yeah, it is a lot. Because it is a lot of it. It is a lot of it. You get it from just your bills, put that aside, from other people, from, you know, people who, you know, I have an editor who's paid to critique my work. So you have to survive that. Like, I have to survive that, like, on a daily basis from like 3 or 4 different editors. Oh, this sucks. Quran, this sucks.
Are you serious?
Well, well, this is the thing. I'm a kind of qualify this a little bit. A lot of my editors, this is how I respond. I'm good when people say it sucks. Just tell me that it sucks.
Don't beat around the bush.
Don't beat around the bush. Don't be like, well, Quran, da da da. Because sometimes they'll be a little. I'm a big man.
Or have a whole bunch of yes men.
Right, and it'll be kind of like, don't do that. Just tell me it sucks. I'm an adult. I can take it. Just tell me what it is. I'll fix it. Yeah. You know, and then I'll do what I need. Or I'll just rewrite the entire thing, and I'll just do it all over again. I write thousands of words every single day, so I can get, you know, for this particular piece, 500 words that are perfect for this thing. You know, and it's just like, it's very weird. It's a very strange thing to be kind of artistic. It's very odd.
I noticed, like, I can't even work regular 9 to 5s.
You can't. Oh, no. I can't. I will never.
Just the thought.
I was just
that'll never happen. Never happen again.
Right.
Or
and I catch myself when I'm at work, or when I like did have like a regular like full-time job. I was doing artsy stuff there. Yeah. You know,
like you're at school.
I'm putting up displays and putting them in certain ways and stuff like that, and they're like, man, just put it up, you know. But it just, so it's almost like the norm is not normal for an artist. It's as if like.
You
just live in the creative side of your brain. You don't want to come back.
It's no such thing as a creative side when you're doing something for someone else, knowing that my soul wants to do something different. So
it's a very painful thing, actually. Like for me, if I so like if I have to just get up for a paycheck, I cannot. It's a very, very painful thing. But when it's like purpose, like let's say for example being here with you all, or kids, like youth, I'm very passionate about youth. I mean youth, if I have to be somewhere at 6 in the morning on myself, I rise at like 5:30, like on my own, no alarm. But if I had to just go make some money, I'll probably wake up after the alarm. Like, I don't care. Right. But when it's about that passion, I can do it. So I can't even comprehend going to go do something just to make ends meet with no passion. Mm-hmm. Like,
I feel so sorry for those people. And, a lot of people, don't have any kind of outlet. They, go to their regimented job in their life, and it's like, they don't know about their inner self or connect to that stuff at all. And I'm like, well, what do you do with your life? Like when I feel sad and lonely, like I have all these outlets. I have music, I got dance, I got fitness, I got art, I just put on a song and start singing and I feel better. Like, what if I had to live in a cubicle?
And some people's thing is like baking or,
eating.
Yeah, it is. It's art. It's art.
Yeah, culinary, yeah.
Cleaning. Some people cleaning. Like, you'd be surprised what people find major fulfillment from.
I want to know then they come over.
Wow.
And I think that's also too.
I want to know about that.
Passion.
I want to know how clean you guys are because of your artistry. But before that, you were about to say something.
Yeah, I was going to say that I think I need a little balance. I need a little bit of both. Like, if it's just, I've done art full time. I mean, I have a little job on the side. Okay. But I've done it full time, and I think it was very stressful for me emotionally.
To try to make ends meet with that.
Well, then you're constantly in a management mindset.
Right.
Like your brain is constantly moving, and I needed a little break. And so I think having just a little something on the side where, it's normal, and I don't have to think too much. It's just do something.
And that check is gonna come in.
Calming for me. And then also I think I move a lot on emotion. So like if I am down, like I won't do anything. Like it'll debilitate me. And with just something like a regular job, that like I have to get up. And then I have 2 kids too, so there's things that I have to do, and it keeps me going even with the up and down emotions.
So I've experienced, I love how we're different, and thank you for adding that difference of insight to it, because I'm sure somebody's watching going,
but
hey,
I agree,
now.
That's probably really, really good for you to have these set things, that help you create structure, because I'll get lost, and I'll get lost in my emotions too, and I'll be like, well, today I'm just not getting out of bed today.
Yeah, that's me.
Now I'll feel guilty, and I need the rest because I stayed up on a bender, but I will still feel that. And when I say bender, I mean working. Right. And and traveling and going and just, being in my head and not having that reality check coming back to there's bills. Like, thankfully everything's set up on something now, and I don't have to go there anymore because I won't even remember. Money will be there, and I'm not sending it places. I'm only here, I got 2 little weenie dogs, but other than that, I do whatever I want. You know what I'm saying? Like, they got to go out a few times. They got to eat. That's it. Oh, I didn't take a shower. Whoops. Oh, well, no one even knows. No one came over. I do what I want.
Smell test.
Yeah, I'm good.
No one can smell me. I'm by myself.
Okay.
Good.
So, like, I know several types of artists. There's the artist who's, like, meticulous about detail. I find that they live very much on the outside. They live very much outwardly, like, so the person that's very detail, more clean, more cleanliness.
I think so.
Then the abstract one, or the one that's more like, onto the painting, right? Not so organized, maybe. Is this, what do you think about you? Because you're in your imagination and you're in your mind and your thought. So wait, I want to know, organized or disorganized?
I'm organized, like say detail.
I could guess on him.
He done ironed his shirt.
But it's funny though, like seriously, like my college roommate, he was a complete opposite of me. He was abstract, but just beautiful pieces. He was junky. Seriously junky, but like I said, so I think it's that. Like, your reflection.
Detail or abstract?
He's very abstract. Okay. Yeah, very abstract, and his lifestyle is very abstract as well. But like I say, it was him. It was him. So yeah, it was
now I want
definitely
to go
that.
visit Tani's house.
She's probably got it clean
I
over
think she's
there.
clean.
Absolutely.
But what if she's like, no, I'm kind of,
No,
I don't think
I
so
bet
either.
money on that. She's gonna keep it clean
you
over
can
there.
eat off her floors. I could just tell. I could just.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, sometimes
When that girl
When
has
you
it
can
together.
work on a piece for that long,
Exactly.
you got order
Patience,
and discipline.
order, yes.
And sometimes I get in those moods though, where it's just I have a pile of clothes over there. I'm just like I'll fold them later,
Yeah.
because I'm in the mood of creating. You
Yeah.
know, so
I don't
right,
think that's
yeah.
anybody who's busy. You know, if you're really dedicated, then some things fall through the cracks. You
Right.
know what I mean?
Sure.
And plus, when you're so passionate in one area, sometimes other areas suffer.
Right.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
Like, I don't know if it's true, but I've always heard like Beyonce is not the most neatest person, but it's because all your focus is probably on creating.
She has people
You
for
don't
that.
have-
Yeah.
Come on.
She can focus
You know
on
she
her
likes
thing.
it clean.
Yeah.
Her stuff's clean around her. She's Virgo. She's paying people.
Of course, absolutely. But it's
She probably
like
never
that too,
cleaned.
though. When
Yeah,
your focus is, somewhere else. Sometimes, like I don't know how it is for me, but for some reason, like, so when I worked in an office with youth, like I have my own office, my office was like immaculate. Like my office was really like, wow, But then my car, like, oh
yeah.
my
This
God.
happened.
So how
Yeah.
does
My
that
car is
work?
out of control.
How does that work?
My house, my actual apartment is fine.
Priorities.
Right.
Apartment's fine. Truck is out of control.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What I move around in, I don't know what it is.
So strange.
There's like
Yeah.
one little thing. It's like your problems will kind of squeeze out different ways. Like I used to have bad problems. I used to be drinking and on
Right.
town, and now it's like I don't do my dishes anymore. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like these things change. Like
What provokes? Were you gonna say something?
Yeah.
Okay, go
I was gonna
for it.
say I'm a little OCD. But
Are you?
Oh.
Are you? And she's
yeah, I bet
a
she's
little
gonna. I already knew she was gonna have to clean over there.
So everything, I'm so much so that I intentionally get things mismatched so that if like my plates are all different colors, because if one breaks, then I won't stress out
Over the one.
because the set is not complete.
Oh.
Oh wow. That's
You're getting deep.
okay.
That's,
But, I
that's
have my
very
moments.
artistic though.
Yeah, I have my
that's-
moments too. Like you said, when you're so focused, like if I'm out of town all week, then some things will slide because I'm concentrated on one thing, but then I'll come back and then make everything perfect again.
Yeah, yeah.
We're swinging like a
Phases.
pendulum from this
Yeah.
side to that side, but I'm just going with whatever pops into my mind. What emotion do you think provokes the most creativity out of you? Anger, love, hope? I'm sure it's a plethora, but which one do you think does the most damage or creativity?
I mean, either being really like feeling lusty, lovey-dovey, like, I got some sexy muse, that got me feeling good today.
Yeah.
That's number one, because that'll motivate me. But also heartbreak,
Are any of those Native
heartbreak.
American hunks real?
Oh, all of them.
Wait,
Those
they're
are
real
live
people? Those
models.
are-
Well, some of them are from like old pictures, 1800s, 1900s. But
'Cause I was trying to holler at the 1800s. The 1801 dude. Oh, man.
Some of them, though.
Time traveling
Live in
forward.
my studio. Live in my studio, some of them, yeah.
Don't get a DeLorean for it.
I know,
There's
trust
one
me, I
Native
would have found
American brother,
it.
I was like,
I'll show you some that are real.
see?
I mean, there's all kinds of hot ones. I've already scouted them all out.
See, she's looking.
I've already scouted them
I
out.
actually know one for you that you'd be pretty blown away with.
Hell yeah?
actually. Oh yeah.
Do I
Oh,
already
yeah.
know him?
No, you don't. There's no way that you do. But
I might.
yeah. No, you don't. I'm sure.
Listen 'em
He's in prison. You don't know
Just
him.
kidding.
Okay? Calm down.
Oh. Don't send him. Don't send him. I don't need that trouble.
Oh, he's not. He's a very,
teasing.
very beautiful individual. One of the most
teasing.
wisest people I know, and very beautiful on the outside as well.
judge.
Yeah, no. He's amazing. But we digress. Back to the 1801 guy.
Anyways,
So you said lust and love, and what else, maybe?
heartbreak. The opposite. The two extremes.
Yeah, I agree.
It's
Yeah,
funny she
heartbreak
said
makes me
lust,
cry.
because that was the first thing that hit my
Yeah,
mind.
lust is the number one, probably,
it
right?
was like the first thing that hit my mind, because I catch myself getting too deep within an idea to the point to where it becomes almost perverted, right?
No, what do you mean? Oh, yeah,
You're
go
into
ahead.
that.
Yeah, Deal deeper on that one.
Right. Well, I want to share an idea, but I don't want to put it out there and get it stolen.
Oh, wow.
Screw it, I don't care.
And plus now it's documented that
You
it was
already
your
have it
idea,
done
yeah.
first.
There we go. All right, yeah, I'm spilling all the
Proof will be
beans.
like,
Perfect.
look,
I have to do it.
on this day,
Right.
we said this on this show,
Right.
sucker.
But I guess, like you say, with it's so many emotions that tie into so many different things, right? So with that being said, like we say, the idea of love and lust. So with me, sometimes using the muse as, you know, my muse is women, or just the experience with them, interpreting that experience to where it's caught and respected, right? So with that being said, the sexual production, sometimes I should say, you know, just to kind of have clean words, could
I think we're
either
past that point, brother.
Are we past that
but
point?
carry on.
Yeah.
can either hurt or heal, right? And so with that being said, the idea of, you know, pollinating, or like I say, once again,
Just getting your rocks off.
right, can, you know, it's like I say, it's that thin line between the enjoyment of the sex or, you know,
Purpose,
or
intention.
exactly.
Oh,
You see what I'm
wow,
saying?
Yeah.
So with that being said, the idea
Wow.
came in my head with a flower and a Venus flytrap because of the
yeah.
reasons of both of those. One's a predatory, excuse me, and one is used to, like, say, pollinate.
Right.
You
So
know,
now you got to get on the grind and paint it as fast as you
Yeah.
can.
exactly. I got to do this by tomorrow, right? You know what I'm saying? Hey, I'm
Are y'all
doing it.
like that?
Doing it as I'm
like that.
driving back home, right?
Absolutely.
But just that type of thing of, like, you know, wanting to love and wanting to lust and having to put that out there, or just, like, say, every emotion I feel like can create something if you look at it in a way of, you know, okay, how can I give this back? You know, because it's almost like with filters,
Yeah.
you know? So it's come to me, I've had time to hold it. All right, how do I give it back out? You know, and even sometimes with giving it back out, like, the visual sometimes is so important. Because I can draw the idea I just told you about, and some people can be like, ugh, just because of how I drew it, you know. But if I take my time and really put in the craft to it, you know, I feel like it's more respected. So emotions are such a weird thing when it comes to what we do,
Right.
like, because
Yeah, right.
it is like what
That's
we do.
what art's all about,
That's what-
right?
that's-
That's the
it's
first question they ask at the
so much,
critique.
yeah.
How does it make you feel?
Right.
You
And
know?
for me to say that, it's like, gosh, I'm gonna have to get a dictionary, you know, because it's so many different feelings, it's so many different words, adjectives, some that ain't even made up yet that I can't explain to you right now, but
But it's in that picture.
it's all there. Like, you find which one you
Yeah.
want. you
That's
know?
why when I make
Exactly.
something, I want it out.
Man.
They're like, oh, how can you let go of your peace? How can you? Fuck, get that away from me. Like, I don't want to feel all that, you
Yeah.
know? And I remember everything I was thinking, feeling. It's all there.
It's all right there.
I
yeah.
don't like it.
They say a
I want it
picture said
away,
1,000
you know?
words, yeah.
Now, I try to make them, like, positive. I'll get the little sage. Let's sage this whole studio. Let me cleanse my soul before I sit down. But at the same time, it's like whatever's really happening is like what happened, you know?
Yeah.
They don't know, but you know they feel it. Some of them I made, like, I just can't sell. And, like, oh, mark it down, mark it down. My best friend, oh, I hate that painting. I know what you were going through. We were on the phone when you were making that. She's like, oh, I wish you'd sell that. And it's like, it's got bad
Wow.
juju, you know?
Wow.
It's like, it's
I've
why
never
it stuck
seen
to
anything that
me.
you've done that I didn't like. So
Well, thank
strange.
you.
No problem. All of you are very talented. Now tell me, which emotion do you feel sparks the most? I'm sure all of them do, but which one do you think kind of?
I think, like she said, hand in hand go, and I won't just say love, but I'll say just, I don't know if there's a word for it, but
Right.
just jumping into the, I guess it's a combination of lust and love and all the emotions that come with that. And then severe heartbreak and pain.
Yeah, severe heartbreak and pain will do it. Boy,
Oh,
I
man.
tell you.
It's like being alive, you know, when you feel alive the most, then you
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
like, oh, I'm one with the universe, let me express that, you know?
And even in love, so I feel like this achiness is the most, for me, creative spot. And it could be an achiness where you're longing for somebody, like you want to be with them right now. Does he like me? Does he like me not? Right? This achiness, or just you watch
like,
something, or you watch something and you're just so aching inside about it that you're like, these mother suckers, and you want to write about it. You know what I mean? So there's this
Sadness.
achy, this unsettledness, or this. I just can't sit in this spot well. I feel like that is the most creative
Yeah.
spot, you know. Are you like that too, Karan?
You know, it's contained.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm very fortunate that I don't, when I'm writing, so let's say it's like a feature on someone, now if it's a musician, oh man. So now I'm listening to nothing but them for like a month.
That's so legit.
Like
Look at
I'm listening to
you.
nothing but what it is that they're doing
Consider it.
for
He
about
goes beyond. He talks to their mom and everything.
I'll talk
'cause
to
he wants to
their-
know everything about them.
everything.
Yeah.
I'll talk to your mom. I want to
Love
talk to
it.
your sister. I want to talk to all your friends. I want to talk to people who might not like you.
Oh, nice.
You know, so I'm into
Got
your
a lot of
life.
people to talk to there.
You know, so now it's like I get kind of put to the back. I don't know if that makes any sense, but I push myself
The ego.
to the back, and now I'm you.
Right.
Nice.
And so now I'm you.
How
So now I'm
interesting.
doing
Cool.
what I think listening to what I think you might be listening to, or and that's kind of how I sort of synthesize everything. And there was one artist. His name is D Madness, Dwayne,
Of course. Shout out to D-Mac.
legendary, and he's blind.
Yeah.
And it was very interesting how I was gonna kind of approach it. And I was like, how do I do this? I don't know how to really feel about it. And he was like, look, man, I remember, and I put it in the piece. He said, we don't have to be sentimental about it. I'm blind. You know, I didn't say it that exactly that way.
So
you know,
smooth.
Yeah, he's just like, you don't have to be. I'm blind.
Oh,
It
he's
is.
so amazing.
It's what it is. So I tried to do things the way that he would do them, and wondered how I would feel. I mean, just walking across the street. Like simple
Right,
things
right,
you don't even take for granted. I'm just gonna walk across the street. That's a whole other thing for somebody who cannot see.
And then this dude plays the drums, the bass, and the
Keys,
keyboard
and yeah.
at the same time
Sings,
sometimes.
everything.
Amazing.
He's incredible.
Right.
But yeah, so mine is more contained. So once it's done, it's done. I've written it. I've written thousands of words to get 3,000, and it's over.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You
So
feel
now,
like
I
you-
mean, it's like once it's so over. Once I've turned it in, I've largely forgotten, except for the emotions that I felt. I can kind of bring that back. It's like it's done. Like that drawer has been closed, and I'm opening a new drawer in whatever
Yeah.
my new project is.
Yeah.
So it's over. Like I don't even know what happened. You remember that one piece? What are you talking about?
Exactly right.
So this is fascinating. Like people that are artistic. So we have late crossovers, right? Do you draw
I
at
do
all?
not draw.
I do not draw at all. I'm like wordsmith, but I draw stick figures. I've had twice that I've done very great artistic abstract pieces. Very like they were really really cool, but then that was it. And I went and kind of what really destroyed it for me. I took something to my mom when I was young. Mom, please forgive me for telling this, but I took her something I drew and I was like, "Look, Mom," and she held it upside down because it was abstract. She held it upside down and she was like, "Yeah, hey, yeah." Huh. And after that, I threw it under the bed and I was done with it.
Aww.
But yeah, anyways. So what I was saying that for is we have these lappers. Like you're saying that you do art and you write as well, right? Musician inclined?
I do. Well, when I write poems, sometimes they're songs.
Songs.
I hear them as songs.
Musical form. So we got that lap over. Do you ever do music?
Not that I would share with people.
But I bet you bust it
Ever.
when somebody busts a flow and you're by yourself, a beat, you're by yourself, you might
at
get
home
those,
on my computer.
Man, I'm
I have
home
lots
now.
of things that are there that I would ever show people.
We all
that's
do.
interesting. Okay.
Ever.
Lamont, are you musically inclined?
Yeah, I'm a rapper.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm just
Oh my God.
I'm just
I'm
messing
about to
with
bust
you.
a beat on the table.
Bust it out.
No, I mean, but music does go hand in hand, though. Yeah.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah.
well, we're about to get over
It
to
definitely does.
so well. This one over here with the violin, cello,
Nice.
right?
Yeah, I play all the orchestra instruments.
No, not like
Sing, rap.
not
Wow.
regular.
Yeah, I
No,
taught
not
for like many,
mediocre.
many years.
Are you serious?
Like
That's dope.
sit there and
Crazy.
like when you listen to it.
Right.
Yeah, and then she'll be dressing like all sexy. So then she's got an art. This is what it's like. This is what it's like. Okay?
That's a
So
good
she's
set.
got like a painting right here, a cello in between her leg, her
man.
calf muscle, tan legs,
Oh,
right? With a jacket on that she painted, freaking Jimi Hendrix on the back, or like a snake or something like that. So this is what is going on, like over here.
Silly.
Oh, you have a whole audio visual
Give
experience.
me
that
a
you can
break. I'm
provide
like,
people.
okay, tone it down, Lauren.
I was a
Tone
dancer
it
too.
down.
I taught dance for like 12 years, and
I'm like, calm it
just
down.
all the arts, all the arts, writing, songwriting, poetry. I did that from forever. I always did this stuff. You know what I mean? Like,
Just
I
artistic,
feel like, and when people talk about, oh, so talented or whatever, it's all hard work, but I was naturally inclined and led this direction. I feel like when I jumped out, like at the womb, I was already like late, and I was blessed with these things, and it's up to me to live up to that. I don't own this time. I don't own these things. Like, I'm a vessel that I'm blessed. It comes in through me and comes out through me, and I have to make sure that keeps happening, and you're only as good as your last thing or whatever. So, yeah, I can do those things or whatever, but so could every fucking buddy else if they spent every minute on it like I do. You know what I mean? I don't have a regular life. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have a balanced life.
I know I don't either.
And it's great because, like, especially with music, talk about trying to get that feeling out, that's immediate plug in to that feeling. You know what I mean? I love it, and it feels so good, but there's only so much time to do the things that I like to do. You know what I mean? And I always feel like I'm behind. Because I'm not, I can play those things, and I get paid professionally to do it, and I can play with this orchestra or play with this DJ or whatever, and that's cool. But I'm not the best in the world, you know what I mean? Like, there's always somebody way, 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 way better than me, and that's how I see it. Everybody else sees it as this because they don't know anything about it, but to me it's like, oh man, I suck. You know what I mean?
Really?
We all probably think we suck,
We're our
right?
biggest critics. Yeah,
Yeah.
we're definitely our biggest
You're
critics.
never going to be pleased because there's always that archetype of perfection that doesn't really exist. But, it's good to go back and look at where you've come from and compare and contrast and feel good about where you're going next,
Nice. So before we wrap up, there's areas that we might need to touch on that we're not touching on. Is there anything I'm missing that you wish that we would talk about? Have we covered enough ground? Is there anything about artistic stuff that
One thing, honestly, on the way here I was thinking about was like I say, just having the time for art. I noticed that it takes away the time for relationships as well. Whether family or, like, say, intimate relationships, with significant other.
that's a real great place to talk about.
I never had that time for them.
Yeah.
It's almost like I have to be selfish, like, right now. Like I say, with having girlfriends or even like family. Like, my mom has this thing where she's always bothering me, and that's a good thing, though, right? I mean, that's mom's, but it's like I say, it's at the time of, like, I'm in the midst of doing. I'm in the midst of, like, say,
I'm in the zone.
I'm in my zone, and she's like, why aren't you responding to me? I have to sit there, and type. I'm drawing, and get back to drawing. But it's just that to where it's like I don't have time for anyone else. It's sad, but it's almost like
right?
You
It's
just get lost.
sad.
I'm in a forest.
Yeah.
Like, if I'm writing
exactly.
something, I'm in a forest. Like,
By
I'm deep in that
yourself.
forest.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm gonna say something pretty, like, drastic, but I really kind of do look at it like this. Because I have so much to do and so much things that I want to create and so many things I want to be a part of, the way that I see it is that, like, if you're just a mere mortal, then I can't the time.
That's a good way of putting it.
But do you understand
really.
what I'm saying?
It's like we have
'cause
a
there's
higher
people that you hang out with that you know that, like, I'm hanging out with you because, like, you're a great person and you're awesome and we can go to the movies or we can hang out.
Right.
I can't do that anymore.
Right.
Like, your
sounds horrible.
quality, I can't. Like,
Sounds
I cannot,
awful.
right? No,
I'm not
like,
interested.
Your quality of I have this much time to spend, so your caliber and
Barely
quality
even that.
has
Yeah,
to
it's
be,
gotta
like,
be
tremendous.
And, like, the height of enrichment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you see me, like,
yeah.
I love
Other than
your
that,
ass.
I have no time. I have no time whatsoever.
Because we could die, and that was it.
No, that's a real
like,
thing.
really.
It really
No,
is.
it's a real
It
thing.
really
People
is.
low-key,
And don't get me wrong,
high-key.
I love everyone.
Yeah.
Much
But
love
there's
for
this
people.
other
But it's
other
just like-
place
But really.
of caliber of enrichment that you're talking about that
And they could end up on your
yeah.
canvas. You know what I mean? Fucking up your canvas. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Or
you gotta protect.
draining your
That's what I'm
energy.
talking about.
Yeah.
It's
Messing
interesting
it
to me.
up.
It's like certain conversations
They
I
have
can't
to
even
be
have
the
with people.
vibration.
So it's like you're
Yeah, they
about to
don't-
go, to go paint, or you're about to go spit, or you're about to go write, and right before it, I'm gonna hurt your feelings
Yeah,
or say
no.
something to just throw away the energy. Do you relate to what we're talking about at all, or no? You capitalize on that too.
I enjoy the thrill of multitasking.
Okay.
I mean, even as a kid, I had, I had my daughter when I was 17, and I wanted that. I wanted to have a family. I wanted to balance everything. I get bored with just one thing, so I don't want to get so far into just myself. I need to have all the balance. I like to juggle.
Yeah. I like that you are not afraid to put a counter opinion in there because it's needed. There's somebody watching the show is like, what about me? What about
She's
me?
got it all.
Yeah,
You know what
and
I'm
we're
saying?
all
She got
over
the
here.
family. She got the art. You know what I'm saying? You do have it balanced. You know what I mean? And we're over here like, boo hoo hoo. We don't have a
just
girlfriend,
saying.
boyfriend. You know, we're work drones or
I
whatever.
mean,
You know?
And that's
But
really,
definitely.
really difficult. And for people, you're going to have to be with somebody that understands your passion.
Absolutely.
man.
Everybody has to understand it. It took years for my family and my friends and everybody, and like people fall away, you know, because if you are continuously growing, they don't, you know, and that scares me the most. I'm divorced, but like I haven't been remarried because one of the main reasons I think is because I'm perpetually growing, and it's hard for a strong male, and I'm only attracted to that type, to like be okay with that and also keep up with that. You know what I mean? I expect a lot. And I'm like, first of all, stay the fuck out of my way. Second of all, like, can you hang with me?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I think I probably only dated maybe 2 or 3 within my lifetime that, you know, like truly understood that, you know. Like I just don't, you know.
Gotta get somebody like you, but they're just as focused.
You know, honestly, I don't know if I could date someone like me.
Yeah,
Just
well,
for the simple
I
fact of
know.
like,
Oh,
because
yeah.
I know,
Oh, God.
I know my weaknesses.
I can barely handle
you know what I'm saying?
No, we can't both be
yeah.
in our
Over the
wormhole.
top.
I know
If I fall
everything
in a
about me.
wormhole and
That's
you fall in a wormhole.
Better hold,
Yeah,
better hold hands.
Exactly, yep.
Just get everything
Yep.
on auto bill pay. You good?
Yeah.
But even with that, it's just like that type of thing of like whatever I'm feeling might reflect you, you know.
Yeah,
Like,
right,
like so if you're my
right.
mirror, then
It's
you know
hard,
I might
like,
be in a certain
yeah.
little area. Then
What
you're
if I
like,
mess you up?
yeah, then you're there area too, and it's just like, oh, screw it,
I
you know.
gotta have
But,
somebody that's gonna be different from
yeah,
what it is.
They gotta
You're
hold
like-
strong
It
to
takes
their
a-
identity
yeah,
too.
it takes a very special
Yes,
person. I
that's
feel like to
very-
date an artist.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
It takes
or
a
a
very
creative being.
a
someone who's
balanced
creative.
little thing
Yeah.
next to you, not too like orbed into you.
So like right now we just spent time talking, right? So after this I will need to be silent for
Oh,
a
yeah.
very long period of time, right? And my dad, I love my dad. He knows that. Like after speaking engagement, he's
Yeah.
like, "You're in your quiet time," because I get quiet. So people think, "Oh, she talks and does these discussions."
Dude.
After this, I'm not gonna want to talk.
You know what- yeah.
I'm like, "Okay, we're done.
Extrovert,
Shut
yeah.
down, right?
That's
And
me.
so to have somebody who understands that that's once I'm depleted,
Yeah.
you know, now I need to replenish, and I'm not going to be the same person that I was
Yeah.
when I was in this mode. You know,
that version is gone.
yeah.
And it's
that
not
moment,
even
that moment
yeah.
is gone.
It's not even a
Yeah.
personal thing towards that person. It's not even about
not.
them. It's about like I'm drained. I'm on zero. I gotta recharge myself.
But
you know?
I think, you know, any partner that would match would clearly understand that. Like, I straight up tell people, okay, I have a show. I don't want to go. I don't like being up on parade. Here I am, Cupid doll out front, trying to sell myself. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Gross. I don't want to do that. I'm an introvert. I want to be at home. Well, after that show, and I'm just completely depleted, I'm like, no, I don't feel sexy. Like, get away from me. Like, you go to your corner, I'm in my corner, and don't, like, my family knows now too, like, don't even call me the next day. Like, I need to recharge. Like, I can feel all those energies all inside of me. I need it out, you know?
They have to have their own thing going. Like a
Strong.
very strong
Right.
thing
Or they just won't understand,
of their
right?
Own. It doesn't even matter what it is. It doesn't have to be artistic. It doesn't have to. What is it you do, and you're focused on that thing that you do,
Right.
and you're just like, boom, this is my thing.
They better feel passionate about
Right.
something.
Be very passionate
Yeah.
about it. It doesn't matter what you
It could be running. Like
Right.
Go,
Whatever it is
go
you're
running.
doing,
Like,
go do that.
But be really into
But
it.
be
Like,
into
I'm
what you're
attracted to
doing.
greatness. You know what I'm
I like
saying?
that
That's
too.
that's the
I
number
like
one thing
that
I'm
too.
attracted to,
Right.
greatness. So
I like
because
that
a lot
too.
comes with that. You know what I mean? You can't
Shawty,
just
what's your name?
be great.
Yeah.
You got to work for great.
You gotta work for
You
it,
know,
yeah.
you got
I
to
do
be
like
disciplined.
greatness.
You got to be mature. That gets greatness.
And then after that, there's this presence thing. I don't know.
Self-assured, confident.
Not necessarily, because I know some pretty awkward people, but their presence is still very royal and regal. Oh, I love
Word.
that. Like for some reason, when they sit down like a king. I don't know what that is about.
I know
But they
what you're
can
talking
literally be goofy as hell. and
Us
not-
girls are like, we
or
like that.
They can literally not know what to say or be terrible with words, but they just have a regalness about them.
Yeah.
'Cause
I see like the beauty in everybody, and that's what I kind of fall in love with, like the unique thing about that person, and like the way our eyes connect or whatever.
I can
and
find
like,
beauty in everyone,
since
too.
I
Yeah,
do
that's great.
portraiture and stuff a lot, mostly, like I see every little bit of their face, and I think about it and everything. You know what I mean? It's all internalized.
Doggone it. Sitting there going,
Stop it. I see the beauty. See, we
like
see the
that
ugly
too,
things
though.
in
That is so
ourselves, but we see the
true.
beauty in other
I
people.
see beauty in flaws in a major way.
Absolutely, because
Yeah.
that is what is, original.
And like one time I was walking in the mall and they had these pictures of all these babies, right? All these children, and they were like, pick the best one, pick the most prettiest one. I'm like, what?
Who does this?
I'm like, all these
that's
children
just
are
me.
beautiful.
That's
And I know some people be like, no, all kids
Let's
aren't, but really in my
objectify babies.
soul, I'm like, how can I pick which one is the best one or the most beautiful
That sounds
one?
like some devil shit.
No, but it was the mall. It was the mall, like,
Devil shit.
Trying to get you to do something.
Pretty much, yeah.
Like, objectify
But
these
that
babies.
was a really good one, Lamont, on relationships and being a creative and passion.
Even
You
like
don't own
with
your
friends,
life.
I noticed though, like
They don't get it sometimes.
well, no, actually, most of my like close buddies do. But I'll catch myself going to like a certain friend's house if I'm feeling a certain way, like about an idea, and I'll just go sit around and we'll drink a beer or two, more than two. But then like I noticed that he's fed my idea.
Yeah,
So
but
when I'm
few
saying
people
bye
even
to
talk
him-
to Art about.
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying.
Y'all
Sometimes
don't
we
even talk about it. You
but it's
just
just what
suck up his
what we're
vibe.
talking about. Is just like, yeah, that's what I needed. Appreciate you, bro.
You need that.
Yeah.
You need
And-
that.
and-
At least
You gotta
that
go
one person
somewhere
that you go
else.
to
Yeah.
where you
Yep.
can be like, that's not even like your significant other.
Right.
That's not like decent. Just like that person that's gonna be like, I vibe with him.
That's my outlet. Yeah.
That's my guy or a girl that knows what it is that I'm kind of trying to work through.
Right.
It doesn't even matter what it is.
It just
It's about those
boom.
vibes.
It's just about the vibe. Yeah.
This has been an amazing conversation. I really enjoyed it. And there's so many people who have no idea about the artist's life. So we really got to give them, an opportunity to look into your lives and see the way that you think and what it takes and how you feel. And so I hope that they enjoyed watching the show. And many of you, we've been showing your work once again. And so who knows, maybe people will reach out to you to encourage you or maybe even support you in your art if they enjoyed some of the images that they see. So thank you so much for talking with us today. And
Likewise.
so hopefully, I'm sure we'll have some of you back on the show
This is
again.
great.
So yeah. So thank you so much and thank you for watching.
Intellectually engaging to think outside the lines with conversation about the nation that never leaves you blind. Take a listen and pay attention. Here is where you find the educational, sensational meeting of the minds. Yeah, it's the meeting of the minds. Meeting of the minds.